know you know this one because you mentioned it. Just like any knowledge about Mothman, any
Yeah,
stories or like things that you might know that might be like super interesting and niche about that story.
yeah, definitely. Well, and the Ray, I want to, what's the Raven one?
Ravenmocker.
Raven Mocker. I'm gonna look that up because there's a lot of one of the cool things about Mothman is that it connects with, I mean, and all of these do connect with like older, more traditional folk stories. I mean, the Mothman was first sighted in the 60s,
Mhm.
but it carries with it this idea of like a winged messenger,
Mhm.
which comes across in a lot of, or like a harbinger that's winged and that comes across, or flying in general, and that comes across with like traditions like the Banshee tradition, which was also brought here by settlers, and possibly the Raven connection as well. And like the Snallygaster is one
Mhm.
as well that's like a winged beast. But Mothman I think is really interesting because um, it's like a story that went viral in its age from one sighting before viral was a thing. So
Mhm.
it was like two couples riding around in a car who happened to see it. And then it was picked up by the news outlet, the local news outlet, and then went viral from there, went picked up on the national wire. And so it's kind of an interesting case of one story and one sighting, then like involving so many other people. Some of the things that I think are cool about Mothman is that there's something a little charming about it because it was developed in the 60s, and there's people surmise that he was named based on this kind of cultural understanding of like Batman, that kind of
Yeah.
like compound name, and then also that there was like a moth character in the DC comics, and so it kind of captures that kind of like Mothman, Superman kind of vibes, which I think
Yeah.
is really cool. And oftentimes cryptids, the stories of cryptids are stories that we tell to grapple with like a social anxiety. And ghost stories are the same. Sometimes it's a way for us to talk about a topic that is taboo or difficult. A lot of times, like for instance, ghost stories are about like domestic violence, things like that, or enslavement. So when we're talking about cryptids, we're talking about us questioning what makes us human. Are we animals? And um, what is our relationship to the natural world? And it expresses a lot of social anxiety around interfering with wooded areas, development of wooded, encroaching upon the wilds,
Mhm.
and about the atomic age and industrialization and war. Is a cryptid created by a radioactive spill? Is it created by someone who's choosing not to participate in modern society because modern society is bad? Is it created because of an experiment gone wrong? Is it um, somehow connected to our like most basest instincts? So it's us kind of talking through and grappling with these questions. And so sometimes, if you're out in the woods, it's creepy
Yeah.
and you have like weird sensations on your skin, and noises are like amplified in the mountains at night. And so you have these questions about your own existence in those types of spaces. And I don't know, I just think it's cool that we can talk about our place in the world in that way.
Yeah, no, I love that. When I was at Virginia Tech, actually, I took a course on demons, demonology, and exorcism, and that was a lot of what we discussed too,
Yeah.
of like that they kind of represent something else. And I never thought about that for Mothman, even with him being like a superhero, because he's kind of one of the cryptids that people don't seem like super scared of. They're like, Mothman's cool. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting for that take.
Yeah, and even I mean, and that's um It's interesting because, as I'm sure you know, he's connected to this like Silver Bridge disaster.
Mhm.
And so there's like a song that they play at the festival and it asks like, is he friend or is he foe?
Mhm.
So it was like, is he trying to warn us that this was happening or did he cause it? Is a
Mhm.
question. And even that, like it's a certain, after the during the first during the first year of sightings, there
Mhm.
was a Silver Bridge disaster, and then there were no more sightings until
Mhm.
it kind of culturally got repopulated with like a book in the 70s and other things. Um, but even for Mothman, he's a like in relationship to the TNT area,
Mhm.
the munitions plant there, because he was seen that first night in and around that space. So he's asking us to think about our relationship with war or our relationship with um, um, technological advancements as they connect to munitions and ammunition. But then with the Silver Bridge collapse, it might be a way for us to engage in a topic that's very painful for a community. Um, it gives us a way, an avenue to kind of talk about that and to situate collective community pain in a way. So it's in some ways allows us to talk about something tragic. Um, and then also, with a bridge collapse, the questions that you have around that are often, why did this happen? Why did it fail? We're talking about engineering. We're talking about, um, are all of the bridges like wearing down? Are they all old? Do they need to be replaced? All of these conversations you have when something like that happens, and you can kind of deal with those anxieties um, by thinking about or engaging with Mothman
Yeah,
narratives.
that's so interesting and cool. Thank you.